Alright, so let's start this up. Hopefully you've read chapters 1 through 3 before watching this. If you did, and you also read them through the lens of young adult literature or boarding school literature or the coming of age story, I hope that they kind of blew your mind. Because for me, if I'm confronted by a book that takes place in this kind of setting with characters of this age, I think, okay, I've seen this before. It's middle school. People are going to be mean to each other. The jock male protagonist is going to be popular but kind of a jerk. By the end, everybody will recognize everybody else's shared humanity, and it'll be a nice little story where the characters move from childhood to adulthood. They will move from being selfish to a place of selflessness. They will learn that they aren't the center of the universe. They will learn from Atticus's advice and be able to put themselves in the metaphorical shoes of others. Immaturity to maturity. We've seen it before. It's fun. We all love these kinds of stories. But right away, we recognize that that is not this story. First, the jock male protagonist, Tommy, who we are told is very good at sports, is not popular. In fact, he's the opposite of popular. He's bullied. And when he's bullied, he rages. He clearly has some anger issues, but I don't know if I'd go so far as to call him a jerk. He actually seems like he's got a pretty good heart, which, in this kind of story, is usually a revelation that takes place much later, not in the first couple chapters. So, if being a soccer star doesn't make you popular in this universe, what does? Well, creativity and the ability to make engaging artwork. Other people have had bad tempers in this universe, but those people can write solid poetry. Tommy's bad temper is less forgivable because he's also not creative. That seems to be the unforgivable characteristic. So art is cool, jocks are not. This book is clearly not playing the typical game of genre here. Not only that, but our narrator, Kathy, she's already the most empathic person in the room. That usual character arc, the one that ends with somebody being able to recognize the pain of others, that just won't work here. That arc seems to be complete before we start. She seems already to be the most emotionally mature person in the room. She recognizes that as Tommy rages, he might ruin his favorite shirt. She puts herself in his metaphorical shoes and acts compassionately when no one else reaches out. She does. But then again, maybe our narrator isn't our protagonist. From these first 3 chapters, we might actually conclude that Tommy is our protagonist, and he certainly seems like he has room for some growth. So it seems we are dealing with something different here. The traditional story arc where we find out that the jock has a good heart finishes right away. The traditional story arc where the protagonist learns to be empathic happens before the book even starts. It's a different kind of story. It also seems that we might be dealing with a dystopia. At this point, it is unclear what the rules of this particular dystopia are, but we know that Kathy becomes a carer. We know that there are some places called recovery rooms, because later in their lives, Ruth will be in one of those recovery rooms. Again, you're not supposed to get that quite yet. It's part of what Kathy provides to us as our narrator. She is giving us a world largely without judgment thus far. We have to accept the world that she presents us with without questioning it too much because she accepts it. And since our only link to this world is through her, we accept it too. So let me know about your thoughts on the book so far in the comments below. We could talk about what kind of growth Tommy can undergo. We can talk about whether or not we're shipping any of the characters so far. We can ask, what's the deal with this being set in the 90s? What do you think of Kathy? Let me know all of that in the comments below. Thank you for watching and participating in this quarantine book club.